story that you told, and I remember very well. You went to bed one night at how old? How old were you when you went to bed this particular night?
I think this was like in 7th grade, so I was like 12 years old.
Okay, 11, 12 years old, right at puberty, the beginning of puberty.
Yeah.
You go to bed.
Yeah.
And what happens when you wake up in the morning?
It was like, I think it was the night before 8th grade. I go to
Wait,
bed.
the night before you started school?
Yeah, like around that, like that summer, right
man.
before 8th grade. And because I remember hiding them during 8th grade, and then in high school, it was just a nightmare. But right before like 8th grade, I went to school with a normal little boy's chest. And dude, fuck, this is so. Every time I tell this, I've only done this a few times. If you've noticed, like on my podcast, I don't really talk about it. I don't talk about this a lot because it's so painful.
Well, and I appreciate you doing it because I know there's so many other people out there. You were not the only person that's ever had this happen. You're the only person I know that's had it happen like this. But tell us
So
what happened.
I woke up and I had tits like a chick.
Like not,
bro, tits.
not like the tits I have now.
No, not
that I should be in better control of.
Tits, not tits.
Breasts. Like breasts.
Tits with big nipples.
And were they? And you had no inkling. There was no pain, or
they were sore. They were sensitive.
No, I mean the night before, leading up to this.
No,
it was.
No, you know what? There was like a little like hardness in there was a little sensitivity.
For how long?
Fuck, dude. Right before your wisdom teeth come in, how your gums are kind of sore and you know something's fucking brewing. It was kind of like that same feeling. Like I was like, oh, that's weird. Like like they would be sensitive.
And you wake up with breasts.
Fucking, and I'm like.
And what do you do?
I just go, what do I do now?
I mean, what is that like?
What do I do?
And these, like, what were they proportionate to your body, or
no?
They like,
and that's here's the thing. Like, I fluctuate a lot with my weight, so I've always been a little chubby. Sometimes I'll get a little skinny.
You look great right now. We've been talking about that.
I appreciate that, dude. It's all carbs and sugar.
I know
dude. Carbs and sugar. I do night eating now. Lately, I've been sleep eating, and that's I gotta stop that. I don't know how, but I woke up and I had tits, and no matter how much weight I lose, because then I was like, all right, I'm gonna lose all this weight. They still stayed the same. So they were something outside of like, it wasn't just fat. It was tits.
So can we just talk about this? Because
I'm here to fucking bear up. My brother. So when I started stand up, I was at a coffee shop with him, and he was like, dude, your jokes are good and your stories are good. He's like, but when are you gonna start talking about your tits? And I fucking grabbed him. And I was like, are you fucking serious, dude? He's like, dude, that's funny. You had tits. And I was just like, and I told it once on stage. I got booked on 3 more shows. Like, tell the tit story. And I just didn't want to be the tit guy. You know,
the titty guy.
I want to be cool.
Well, you are.
Thank you.
But, a lot of fucked up shit happens to cool people.
I know. It's just like, but it is what it is. And every time I tell this story, it does help people. And it's wild what a young man will do to avoid being, you know what I mean?
This is what's going through my
adventure.
This is what goes through my head. Every young lady out there eventually is going to grow breast, and they're aware of it. There are bras for them. There's a whole training and there's a whole education about it. But you now have the same thing they have, but it's not supposed to be on you. Dude, so how do you even start thinking about swimming and showers in high school? I mean, all of this.
It robbed me, and I don't like to be a victim in life and be like, oh, I was robbed of this. Because, dude, I've had a really good run other than the tits.
Oh, man.
I feel like I'm a dog that's just like, why are you laughing, human? Like, what's going on?
Oh,
so I had a good life. Like I've had a good life other than the tits. And I would say that to God. I would be like, man, like, people seem to like me. Like, I was popular in school. Like, girls like gave me attention. But I had tits, and I would just be like, dude, if I just didn't have these fucking tits, it'd be perfect. It was like the Twilight Zone where the guy finally had all the time in the world to read, and his glasses fell off and shattered. And he was like, I can't read. It's like, it was almost all there. you know, and being from Southern California, we were always swimming. We were always at the beach. I love the ocean.
Yeah.
Done. You're not going to a fucking beach party at 15 with all the guys and all the girls. That's done, dude. That would be suicide, social suicide. You know, so I got to be a master what would you call that? Diversion. You know, just hey, don't look over here. Don't look over here. I convinced everybody that the beach wasn't cool. I quit football. I was like, the beach is lame. And I was kind of a popular kid, so I had a couple guys be like, yeah, the beach is lame. All the while, all I wanted to do was swim, dude. I had to convince people that, like, oh, a pool party? What you know, like,
fuck your sandcastle.
Yeah, pool party? Like, how lame. Let's go wear sweaters, dude, in the summer and be like, I use my salesman abilities to convince my friends that doing things without shirts. Love raging waters, bro. That's one of my favorite things to do. Raging waters, water slides. I love the ocean. I'm a Cancer, and I couldn't do any of that shit. None of it, dude. None of it.
All right, so the moment you wake up with tits, do you run right and tell your mom and dad?
Dude, here's the thing. And we talked a little bit the other night at the Ice House about like therapy and stuff like that. And not a dig on my mom and dad. I have great parents, but first thing, you know, this obviously was a thing that really fucked me up and changed my life, changed my posture, changed everything about me. In like, we're, you know, not to be weird, but while the tree was growing through puberty, that's like really pivotal. You're becoming a man. When I was becoming a man, I was just shrinking and hiding. But yet I'm this big personality. I like people. So it really, like, I could see if someone was looking at my chest, I would either try to fight them or run away or do something grand.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, it was like this whole fucked up thing. And my therapist goes, what did your parents do?
Yeah.
And I said, they told me that they weren't there. And he said, your parents were asleep. And my therapist has a son. And he said, if my son had some weird shit, had weird stuff, or had tits, or has weird ears, he goes, it's solved immediately.
Plastic surgery
immediately. And that's my big message with this. You got a fucking ears that you don't like. You have a nose that you don't like. Dude, it's not the 1700s. Fast forward to the story, I don't have tits. I paid Dr. Corbin $8,000 to suck these fuckers out, you know. And now I'm doing stand up, but I was like, you got something weird, dude. There's plastic surgery, and yeah, plastic. You know, getting addicted to plastic surgery, that's not the answer to everything. But dude, it fucking changed my life. It changed my life. Changed my life. Plastic surgery changed my fucking life.
All right, so.
Go move to a different town, get that nose job, come back with a whole new attitude.
What age do you finally get rid of them?
Okay, dude, 28.
What?
And that's when I got sober.
From 10 to 28? Or 12 to 28?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit.
All the fun years. All the fucking shirts off, drinking beers, fucking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Turn 30, keep that shirt on, man.
Dude, and that's when I fucking, you know. Yeah. So
I'm surprised you're not shirtless now.
Dude, I love taking my shirt
off. I would too if
I'll take it off by the end of this show. I like taking it off now.
So, okay. Why did you? All right. You don't tell your parents, or you do? They say, dude, oh, they're not there.
So this is fucked up. This is embarrassing. So I was sleeping in my bed at 15. All my family's going. My mom and dad, for some reason, I think because there's nothing they could do. I had another therapist that were like, there's nothing they could have done, right? Well, they didn't know that they could. In their world, they couldn't fix it, so they were just like, it's fine. But I'm going to fucking school and it's not fine. People are teasing me, and I think a moment.
So people do see them.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah. Every once in a while there was a nip slip, dude. You know? and then it was just, but then that was like death, especially for dudes. You're a dude. It's like, you dude with tits, bro. You can't talk.
No.
Woo, that's some fucked up shit.
Yeah,
dude.
especially for kids are gonna call that shit out.
And then going to an all boys Catholic competitive high school, nightmare, nightmare. And I could see it in my eyes in pictures. I was so angry. My parents were, what is he angry about? What are you angry? We have a good life. What are you angry about? But when this was actually a weird moment, and I have never shared this publicly. This is so embarrassing. But I was sleeping in my bed, and one of my younger cousins came over, who was a toddler at the time. And I was sleeping, I guess, with my shirt off, and she woke me up, and she goes, and I was like looking at her, I'm like, hey. And she goes, booby. And I'm like, all right. Like, you know what I mean? She said booby. Never forgot. I've never shared that in public or in therapy. But that's when I was like, all right, I'm not fucking insane. Like this kid, it was like the kid pointing out booby. I'm like, thank you, Blair. Thank you, Blair. Blair's probably 25 now. When you're 4, She said booby, and then I was like, all right, I got tits. It's official. This kid just stamped it. So, I go through 7th or 8th grade. I forget, like Catholic school, like grammar school. But it wasn't like I didn't go to like a junior high. I went to a small private school. So I was able to like kind of just we didn't do shirts and skin shit. And then right before freshman football, going into St. Francis High School,
God, I'm just sitting here thinking about shirts and skins. You could never do that.
Bro, you want that quarter toss when they're like 1, all right, 1, 2, 1, 2, all the ones, take your shirt. Dude, that was, and for an act of God, I was always shirts. I say, God, if there was a God.
You went perfect on shirts every time?
I swear to God. I said, if there's a God,
that's a hell of a
I'll do anything. I'll join the missionary. I'll do anything, And I actually didn't play football the next year because I was like, dude, there's no way I could beat these odds, these shirt skins odds.
You would definitely be shirtless in the locker room
at some time. But yeah, I would flip it real quick. I had really muscular arms. I mean, I don't lift weights, and I just got my arms really big and wore cutoff shirts because at least I could show something cool.
And what do you hold? Are you trying to use them? I can't remember. You use ace bandages or what did you use to hold them down?
I did that once. I got caught at a restaurant because they switched the shirts at Mi Piace from like this like cool Italian restaurant. They're like, dude, we're wearing rash guard style things, and it was just the material was just light enough to it was just like this. And I was like, oh, like I almost had to quit my job. But that was during the heroin year. So I needed this job for the 100 to 200 a day.
We're going to get to the heroin.
Yeah. Heroin really helps for tits. It just, you don't care that you have them, dude. You're just like, dude, I got tits. You want to suck them? It was actually, yeah. So no, but I think when I heard the prison gate just shut was, I never told anybody about it. I think I may have said something with my family, and they're like, no. And I'm just like, all right, I'm not getting any help here. Did you play football in high school?
I played soccer.
You played soccer. Did you have to do like a physical where you cough and all that?
Yeah, wrestling, and you stand there in front of schools and weigh in and stuff at tournaments. Yeah. Yeah,
like that kind of shit. But I went to this doctor before, and this was my last chance. I went to the doctor. You had to have a physical to play football. So I was playing football. I was still like, this is only a new thing. I only had them for the year and a half or whatever, and I'm just hiding them going, okay, this is going to go away. This is going to go away.
A year and a half.
Yeah, I'm like, this is going to go away because my body's changing, and I'm growing. I grew 3 inches. I'm becoming a man. So I'm like, eventually, I'm going to grow.
You're going to outgrow your tits.
Outgrow my tits. But I did not, dude. I did not outgrow my tits.
Praying for a tight end build here.
Bro,
I'm praying for a tight end build.
Dude, praying to God, take these tits away. And so I had the balls to, you're doing the thing where you cough, and I did the whole physical. Didn't have to take off my shirt, but it was a physical to play freshman.
But this is football. Like your own private doctor.
My private doctor. Yeah. My mom took me. You had to do like all the tests. And it was this lady. And I'll never forget what a fucking cunt. I've forgiven a lot of people, but this fucking bitch, dude. How evil. Like I put my guard down, and after the physical was done, this like female doctor, I was like, I gotta ask you something. She's like, what? With her notebook. I'll never forget this, dude. This happened on Sarah Madre Street, Pasadena, 1994. And she was like, she said, yeah. And I said, I gotta show you something, and I want to know if there's help for it. And she goes, oh, okay, what is it? And I took off my shirt, and I said, look at this. And she goes, nothing you could do, and pulled my shirt back down. and walked away.
Nuh-uh.
I swear to God. I'll never, there's mean things, or there's people that are dismissive, but I just thought, how could you be so closed off and in the dark? Dude, if someone walked in during this thing and said, hey, dude, my fucking left elbow, I'd be like, hey, we'll get to that right at, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not the guy for that, but I can help. Like, thank you for sharing that with me. I'm a little kid's fucking, a 13, 14-year-old kid.
Let me refer you to someone who I think could help you.
Surgery, it's going to be a big deal, but you got to think this boy's coming to you to get into tackle football at an all-boys school. He just showed you that he had breasts.
Yeah.
And she just went, nope. It was like something out of like a movie, like where like a closed-off teacher would be like, nope, sorry, class dismissed. It was just like, you fucking bitch. You know what I mean? So I was just like, after that was my last attempt at asking anybody for help for this horrible, horrible, embarrassing, terrifying thing, so that was the last. That was for me. Like, I ask for help now all the time, dude, like, but like that was a big deal for a kid to ask somebody for help for something that was so embarrassing, and to just hear that nope and then put it down, and now we're in high school. Now we're fucking in high school,
So do you play football that year?
I played football that year. It turns out I'm not that good at football.
How did you avoid keeping your secret?
I just got to the locker room first. I was the first to change.
Your whole life, your schedule, your everything is patterned around these tits.
Everything, dude. Everything. Getting blowjobs, like just like as opposed to
sexually
sex.
active in high school.
I was a fucking
always
sexual
had your shirt
maniac, but always had my shirt on. Or waited till the light was off perfectly. Or
but they couldn't feel them.
Maybe girls are nicer than guys.
Girls are definitely nicer.
Maybe you know what I mean?
Yes. Girls are way nicer
I never
than
thought
guys.
about that. Maybe girls are nicer than guys.
Way nicer.
Yeah. Yeah, the girls I was sleeping
They have
with.
compassion and heart and soul and they care,
I never thought about that. There had to be. Someone had
probably
to.
felt empathy.
That thing that high school boys.
Guys like, he's got tits.
He's got tits.
He's got tits.
Done.
Show your tits.
Done.
Done.
Oh my God. So I'm going through high school and that's a nightmare. But then I start doing drugs.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, this has got to be fucking with you,
dude.
Do you think you would not have started the drugs that you started if you didn't have tits?
And I always struggle with that. I wonder if that's about that, right? Because I'm an alcoholic. I'm 11 years sober. All that stuff, right?
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And I wonder sometimes what I've got to in my head is there's probably 10,000 people on earth with this or more. I don't know what
I was going to say, do you know now that since you've gone through it, like what percentage this happens?
A few times I've squeaked this story out on stage, and when I had the guts, every single time somebody's come up to me afterwards and goes, I have this. How do I get help for this? And
they currently have it while they're talking to you?
From this podcast, people from your podcast, from the Crab Feast.
Really?
Yes.
People reached out and said, I have this now.
Yes.
Wow.
What do I do? That happens a lot.
Could you imagine if you had that back then? It would have changed your life in a week. You would have been like, I'm going to get these fucking taken care of.
Dude, my dad told me this story in high school while I had tits, and I don't know why he didn't fucking take me to do it. So he said he was in his 30s, and he was at a park, and there was this really good looking, like 6'4" dude. It's like athletic dude playing with this kid playing frisbee. And my dad's like, I knew this guy. I know this guy. How do I know this guy? And my dad eventually went up to him. And he goes, I feel like I know you or something like that. And the guy goes, I'm so-and-so. And my dad goes, the criminal kid. And he goes, yeah. My dad said this guy got arrested when they were teenagers for 2 armed robberies. He was the local town in Burbank armed robber, bad kid. The guy said to my dad, I ended up my 3rd court case, went with my mom. He had a nose out to here. It was like a beak, right? The judge, this is in the 60s, dude, in Southern California. How progressive. He said the judge sentenced me, pulled my mom and me up to the thing and said, it's because of your son's nose. He's acting out because of his nose. I sentence him to you're to get plastic surgery.
No.
Swear to God.
You can sentence somebody to get
you're
plastic
getting plastic
surgery?
surgery. You're putting him in a different school, and he's coming back, and you're not talking about this anymore. And he goes, that judge saved my life.
Wow.
He goes, I went with my mom. We got the surgery. I left school. Everybody thought I must have went to prison or something, and it changed my life. My dad was like, he was just some regular dude, you know.
Now I just shoplift from 7-Eleven.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need the gun.
I don't need the gun.
Yeah, I don't need the gun, bitch. But my dad told me this story, and I was like, I got tits, you know. So I'm like, I'm going through high school with this fucking nightmare. Is this interesting?
Fuck yeah. Is it interesting? Like I said,
so
you're
vulnerable.
the only person I know that grew tits.
Yeah, like
only guy.
It feels like when I'm telling the other stories, it feels like a rush. This feels like just like I'm a filleted butter. You know, I feel like a butterfly in a glass right now. I
completely get it.
I don't feel.
I'm
cool.
trying not to laugh at things.
You can laugh.
The way you say certain things is, you know, your comedic style.
Okay,
make it fucking funny.
But, okay, yeah, because right now I feel like
I had a good run. Everything but the tits is.
That's the truth.
That's a great line.
That's the truth, man.